Hey, 49ers fans. Today, we're diving deep into something that has been a constant topic of discussion around the team for years, the injury history of our beloved San Francisco 49ers. Since Kyle Shanahan took over as head coach back in 2017, the Niners have faced one of the most challenging injury situations in all of professional football. It's something that every fan, analyst, and insider has noticed, and it naturally raises questions about why this keeps happening. I recently had an incredibly interesting conversation with someone who has worked as an athletic trainer, not just in the NFL, but also in multiple high-level college football programs. And they shared some insights that I think are worth exploring in detail. What struck me immediately was the perspective on how the 49ers approach strength and conditioning, weightlifting, and physical therapy. According to this individual, there's a strong awareness in NFL circles about the unique methods employed by the Niners. This isn't about labeling anything as right or wrong. It's more about understanding how different philosophies can influence player health. The head athletic trainer for the 49ers, Dustin Little, has his own set of approaches when it comes to weightlifting techniques, movement mechanics, and the overall training strategy for the team. The approach differs from what many other teams in the league do, and even from certain college programs. While some of these differences might seem subtle on the surface, when you're dealing with elite athletes whose bodies are constantly being pushed to the limit, those nuances can make a noticeable impact over time. The conversation also touched on stretching and warm-up routines. While some have speculated about the importance of the Niner stretching techniques, it seems that the real differentiators are the weightlifting methods, movement patterns, and overall conditioning philosophies that Dustin Little implements. Players coming into the NFL already arrive in peak physical condition. They've trained for years, often under different systems in college, and they bring a foundation of strength and skill. But when the 49ers introduce new techniques, new exercises, or adjustments to how players move, it's possible that their bodies might not immediately adapt. That adaptation process can sometimes result in stress on muscles and joints in ways they aren't used to, which, over the course of a grueling season, may contribute to injuries. This doesn't mean that every injury is a result of training methods. Far from it. Football is a violent, high-speed game, and bad luck plays a role in certain situations. When a player rolls an ankle the wrong way or suffers a freak accident on the field, there's nothing that any training program could have prevented. But injuries like hamstring strains, calf pulls, and other soft tissue issues are generally considered preventable or at least manageable with proper conditioning and strength programs. The Niners, unfortunately, have consistently ranked in the top 10 in injury rates since 2017, with 2023 being the notable exception where luck seemed to favor them. Outside of that, the numbers have been striking, highlighting a trend that has drawn attention both inside and outside the organization. Interestingly, the discussion also delved into the culture of health and fitness within the NFL. Every team has its own philosophy. Every trainer has their preferred methods, and each player responds differently to new routines. It's a complex ecosystem where beliefs, education, experience, and organizational priorities intersect. Some players thrive under a particular trainer's system, while others might find their bodies struggling to adjust. That's why conversations about strength and conditioning in the league can get extremely detailed and nuanced. There are countless approaches from different types of gyms to unique training regimens, and everyone in the field has opinions about what works best. For the 49ers specifically, the consistency of Dustin Little's presence as head of strength and conditioning has been one of the constants amidst other staff changes over the years. His influence is clear in the methods the team employs during training and throughout the season. From dynamic stretching routines to specific weightlifting protocols, the Niners have carved out a unique approach that differs from many other NFL teams. While this strategy helps maintain a physically dominant style of play, the Niners are known for being one of the most physical teams on the field. It comes with a cost. Soft tissue injuries have been frequent, and over nearly a decade, the cumulative effect of these different methods may partially explain the historically high injury rate. The conversation also highlighted the human side of this issue. Players entering the NFL have already been through years of rigorous training and conditioning, often under various college programs. When a team introduces new methods that differ from their previous experiences, there is an inevitable period of adjustment. During this time, the body is more vulnerable to injury because it is being pushed in ways it hasn't experienced before. In some cases, this adjustment period is minor and goes unnoticed. In other cases, it can result in injuries that linger and impact the team's performance over weeks or even months. It's a delicate balance between pushing players to improve and overloading them in ways that their bodies aren't ready to handle. Another interesting point brought up in this discussion was the community of fitness professionals in the NFL. Strength and conditioning coaches, physical therapists, and athletic trainers across the league often share insights and compare methodologies. When a team like the Niners consistently ranks high in injuries, it naturally becomes a topic of conversation among professionals who are trying to understand patterns and identify solutions. These discussions can be technical, sometimes bordering on the highly analytical, because at this level, small differences in training philosophy can have measurable effects on player health. It's also important to note that injuries don't exist in isolation. The overall environment, recovery practices, and even subtle factors like facilities can contribute to how well players maintain their health. Some have speculated about external elements, such as electromagnetic fields near training facilities, though research is still emerging. While these factors may play a minor role, the primary driver appears to be the combination of unique training methods and the sheer physical demands placed on elite athletes in a highly competitive league. What I found most fascinating about this entire discussion is how it illustrates the complexity behind what fans often see as a simple issue. Why are the 49ers always injured? The answer is rarely straightforward. It's a mix of training philosophy, adaptation to new methods, the physical demands of the sport, occasional bad luck, and the unique characteristics of each player. It's also a testament to the broader world of athletic performance and how even subtle differences in methodology can have long-term effects. For fans, it's a reminder that every injury report is backed by layers of complexity that go beyond the surface headlines. In the end, the Niners' injury story is a combination of high-level strategy, the influence of key staff like Dustin Little, and the realities of a game that tests the limits of the human body. These factors together create an environment where injuries are, unfortunately, more common than fans might hope. Yet, the team continues to push forward, striving to maintain its physical identity and compete at the highest level despite these challenges. Continuing from the previous discussion, another layer to this story involves how individual players interact with the Niners system during the season. While off-season training allows players to work with personal trainers or adjust to new routines at their own pace, the in-season program is entirely dictated by the team's strength and conditioning staff. This means that players are fully immersed in the philosophy and methods established by Dustin Little and his team. Over time, this immersion can reinforce both positive and negative outcomes. On one hand, it fosters consistency and allows the team to implement a specific identity, particularly one centered on physical dominance and resilience. On the other hand, it also means that any misalignment between a player's previous conditioning background and the team's current approach could result in stress injuries or soft tissue problems. It's important to understand that professional athletes are not blank slates when they arrive in the NFL. They bring years of training, strength, and knowledge from college programs and high-level competitions. Their bodies have been conditioned in particular ways, and suddenly introducing different movements or intensities can be jarring. Even subtle changes in weightlifting technique or stretching routines can have a cumulative impact. This is especially significant when considering the grueling schedule and high physical demands of the NFL. Practices, games, recovery sessions, travel, and mental stress all combine to create an environment where bodies are constantly being challenged. Within this context, even minor differences in methodology can translate into major consequences over the course of a season. Another aspect that often comes up in conversations with insiders is the distinction between contact injuries and soft tissue injuries. The 49ers are known for being an extremely physical team, which is something they take pride in. Their style of play emphasizes strength, toughness, and dominance in collisions. Yet, despite this focus, the team has not historically suffered a disproportionately high number of contact-related injuries. Instead, the bulk of the injury load comes from non-contact issues: hamstrings, calves, groin strains, and similar soft tissue problems. These types of injuries are generally considered preventable with the right combination of strength training, movement mechanics, and recovery protocols. The fact that they have consistently ranked near the top of the league in these injuries suggests that something in the methodology or adaptation process may not fully align with the demands placed on the players' bodies. Interestingly, the conversation with the athletic trainer also touched on a point that might surprise some fans. The philosophy behind weightlifting and conditioning in professional football is far from standardized. Each coach, each trainer, and each organization has its own beliefs, heavily influenced by experience, education, and exposure to different systems. Some prioritize maximal strength, some prioritize explosive power, and some focus on injury prevention through mobility and functional movement. There are countless subtle variations in technique and approach that can make a significant difference in player performance and durability. In the Niners' case, Dustin Little's methods have been consistent for years, creating a recognizable identity in NFL circles, but the question remains whether certain elements of this approach inadvertently contribute to the team's injury history. What makes this situation even more fascinating is how well-informed the broader NFL health and fitness community is about these practices. Athletic trainers, physical therapists, and strength and conditioning professionals often share insights and discuss patterns they observe across teams. When one organization exhibits a consistent trend in injuries over multiple seasons, it naturally becomes a topic of professional discussion. The Niners' high injury rate has not gone unnoticed. Many in the field analyze why it happens, considering factors such as training philosophy, recovery protocols, movement mechanics, and even external environmental factors. It's a complex web, and what seems obvious on the surface rarely tells the full story. Of course, it's also crucial to recognize that not all injuries are caused by methodology or adaptation issues. Football is inherently violent, and freak accidents are unavoidable. Players like Fred Warner, who have sustained injuries due to collisions or awkward landings, demonstrate that sometimes it's just bad luck. These injuries are part of the game and cannot be fully mitigated by any training program. The challenge lies in differentiating between bad luck injuries and those that might have been influenced by conditioning practices. For the Niners, a majority of their persistent injury problems fall into the latter category: soft tissue issues, strains, and pulls that can potentially be managed or prevented through specific adjustments in training and recovery. Another interesting dimension is how players respond individually to the team's methods. Each athlete's body is unique, shaped by genetics, prior training, and personal adaptation patterns. While some players thrive under the Niners' conditioning regimen, others may struggle. This variability adds yet another layer of complexity. A method that produces great results for one player could inadvertently stress another. Balancing this in a team setting is challenging, particularly with a roster as deep and physically demanding as the 49ers. Trainers have to design programs that address both individual needs and the overall team philosophy, which is a delicate and ongoing process. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with whispers that could reshape the entire landscape. The San Francisco 49ers are reportedly closing in on a blockbuster signing: wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. If true, this would mark one of the most seismic offseason moves in recent memory, sending shockwaves through both the NFC West and fantasy football circles. Sources close to the team hint that the 49ers front office has been working tirelessly behind the scenes, orchestrating what could be a career-defining acquisition. Lamb, known for his explosive speed, crisp route running, and ability to make contested catches look routine would instantly transform San Francisco's offensive identity. Rumors suggest that the coaching staff has been envisioning game plans around his presence, potentially creating mismatches that opposing defenses simply cannot ignore. For fans, the speculation alone is electrifying. Imagine a receiving core led by Lamb, complementing the already dynamic weapons in Kyle Shanahan's arsenal. Analysts are whispering that this addition could catapult the 49ers into immediate Super Bowl contention, giving them a weapon capable of stretching the field and opening opportunities for both the running game and tight ends. Social media has erupted with mock formations, highlight reels, and heated debates about how the team might integrate such a talent mid-stride. Insiders also suggest the move is about more than just talent. It's a statement. The 49ers appear poised to declare that they're willing to swing for the fences, betting big on Lamb's ability to elevate the offense to a historically elite level. Questions abound. How will the chemistry develop with the current quarterback? Can Lamb adjust to the nuances of a new playbook? How will defenses respond to this sudden threat? The speculation is relentless, and every sports show seems to be dissecting potential scenarios minute by minute. While nothing is officially confirmed, the mere possibility of Lamb donning the gold and red has reignited the 49ers fan base and created an undeniable buzz around the NFL. One thing is certain. If this deal comes to fruition, it won't just be a signing. It could be the move that reshapes an entire season, sending rival teams scrambling to adapt and reminding the league why the 49ers remain a team to watch. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.